sponsored by them? You fucking.
I'm trying to get a sponsor.
Trying
to get a sponsor by them.
Good. I'll mention that. Well, we should mention that. All right. You guys ready?
King in the North. King in the North. All right.
Obviously, we're not ready if you're gonna act like that. And welcome to the second episode of the Criterion Cult. All hail Criterion Satan. And today, I'm your host, Jordan. We got Mondo. We got Nacho. We got Diego. The other great hosts here. And all part of the cult. And today we're going to be talking about Haxan, which was directed by Benjamin Christensen. And that one is actually in the Criterion Collection. Today, Diego also picked Hagazussa, or how do you say it?
Hagazussa.
All right. Well, I guess we didn't need to hear that anyway. All right. Thanks. That was directed by Luca Di Beppo. No, Luca Fegafeld. Luca Fegafeld?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Diego's pick and what he thinks should be in the Criterion. We're going to talk about that later, but for now, fellas, we're talking about Haxan, which is it's a mockumentary, pretty much, right? It's like a fake documentary about about witches. Basically, it shows you where witches live, how they were put on trial, how they were tortured, all these different things, how they put spells on people, all the different shit that they did, and it just pretty much follows like a bunch of different chapters that goes into each. It's sort of like a kind of educational video in a way. It's sort of the way that it's laid out.
I would say it is a documentary, right? I mean, it wasn't necessarily a mockumentary. It was like a documentary, but them acting out like events that occurred during those medieval times, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was a historical documentary from the description that I was reading. Multiple sources.
Well, the way that the director who plays the devil in it, because the devil pops out a lot, the way the devil was sort of rapidly moving his tongue constantly, you figured it would be a mockumentary. But okay.
Well, I had a question about that. Is that how the devil is always depicted, like with his tongue out, and
churning butter?
Was James Gunn inspired by that? Because he also played the devil in Super and was doing his tongue thing that whole time. Remember? I don't know if you guys remember.
That's right. He probably was. He probably did get it from that. He would be someone who I think would know this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is funny. It's pretty crazy. So I guess we'll just get into it. I was sort of bored a little at first. I was kind of just like, all right, like I didn't really care too much for the drawing stuff, how it just was like pointing at, different drawings and things at first before there was really like action involved, before they really showed, actors doing their thing. But once it got into that, I was like, all right, this is cool. There's some like cool imagery in here. There's like some pretty fun stuff to look at. Like, when they get that poor old lady and they fucking torturing her to make her admit that she's a witch. But those piece of shit priests, which we'll get into in a little bit, but so that old lady getting tortured, and then she mentions how they had that party with the devil and stuff, and how those other girls were there that also accused her of being a witch, and that like she just talked about all the things that they did there, and when they showed that party, I thought that was like a really cool like depiction of like that, whatever that would be, like these weird fucking like goat figure things like dancing around and like just licking fucking witches' necks, and like it's, and like what are they they're also just, what do they eat, like they ate babies and frogs is what she said.
Right.
They picked up the baby and they were cooking a baby and apparently some frogs. And that's that just seems like a good time when I saw it. It was just like, fuck witches, get money. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of those frogs, I was happy to see that there was someone my height in the movie in 1920. He was the one serving up those frogs. Like, I didn't know they had acting roles in those days.
Damn that. I mean,
the height thing. People got taller as time went on, so everyone was a lot shorter back then.
It's too bad the Criterion Collection couldn't get you before they put the edition out for that factoid. They just had that quick clip of you just saying that in like the documentary.
He's not a midget. That's just how tall people were back then.
Yeah, Criterion,
Anyway,
get at us for some of the documentaries. Get Armando. He's got a few factoids. Yeah, but and then it kind of started to slow down again for me in the end. It kind of started to get boring. But you know, it really is funny to kind of see like how long that like people have just been really stupid. Like in terms of like accusing people of being a witch. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it's still that's what I'm saying. How long they have been, because they still are. Like literally, people have just been like fucking like that crowd mentality. Just mob mentality. Mob mentality. Just like willing to just throw anybody under the bus to save your ass. And then like and then you have that whole thing with like the church just being complete fucking pieces of shit. Like what, torturing people, like believing that they're witches because they don't cry on command or some bullshit. Like I know, like to me that was pretty crazy to see that, where it was kind of pissing me off, like watching it sort of.
Well, it goes back to like power and authority, kind of like telling you what you have to be and how you have to be in order to be able to like live in society. And if you're a little bit different, you're wrong, you're bad, you're evil. Like there's a part where it says that if you were too old and ugly, you were a witch, and if you were too pretty, if you're too pretty and too attractive, you're a witch too. So you have to
because you kind of like fall in line. Got the priest horny, like that's crazy. Yeah. Like you're young and beautiful, you get the priest horny, and if they get horny, that means you're a witch because you're going in their dreams. Yeah, like that's
because you're tempting them. Because they can't control themselves. They're tempted, and you're a fucking piece of crap.
You can literally like someone and just accuse them of being a witch. Fuck this fool. He was eating babies' asses or something. And then they.
Who are we talking about?
It's because
I'm sorry. I went into the other movie.
Eating babies' asses was a lot easier back then.
Yeah, it was more of a frowned upon thing. Yeah. It wasn't a crime. Especially at the devil meetings. They would it looks like they were cooking up baby ass. But that's crazy.
And then they had to kiss the devil's ass too, as a form of like,
hilarious.
Yeah, of them.
What's crazy? What's crazy because they're showing that, like, I mean, she's pretty much like making that up, is what they're saying. Yeah. Like to get out of that. That's a crazy thing to make up. And she's just like, no. They're like, all right, cool. She's like, no. There's more. Like that fool bent over. And we had to kiss that fool's rump. We just got in there.
And he was just like shaking it. Like it was great.
Just like,
and they're just like, and the priests are just like, oh, okay, that's fine. We get it. She's like, no. You don't understand.
No. There's more.
She's all, we sucked that fool's horn. And they're like, wait, what? I think it would have been cooler if they didn't try to do it as like a documentary type thing. If it was just like we were just seeing that,
Yeah, because I started losing interest. Although it was like educational, because towards the end they were saying, well, this is what they thought in medieval times, and as time progressed, and as like we were more educated and we learned, it was they were health issues, mental health and all that.
Yeah, mental. Yeah.
They started explaining that, which is cool, but I started getting bored, to be honest, at that point,
Yeah, you went from Haxan to Hax off.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is same here. As soon as that started coming through, I fucking went from Haxan to Hax off, right like that.
Yeah. I thought it was filmed pretty well though, like for being 1922, and
for sure.
And another thing that I noticed, because the story was kind of boring, is how well it was edited. Because a lot of films from back then, like, they linger too much, like on one shot and stuff, and like this was pretty like all the shots were pretty set up pretty well, and like cinematic.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna be talking about a movie that's got some lingering pretty soon. But yes, you're definitely right. That was actually, it did keep the flow of it going. especially for the part that had like the cooler visuals.
Yeah, I was surprised how good the editing was, or like how like even modern it seemed. You know, like if someone was trying to make something from back then or whatever. You know.
There was color, like in what we saw, right? I mean, obviously, it wasn't just straight up black and white, right? I don't know. My TV, like, there was like reds and these tones.
Yeah, no? I mean, it was like sepia tone. Was it ever in color?
It had like a weird color to it, like a tinge, you know?
I wouldn't say it was black and white. It had like some tone to it. Like, I mean, I thought it looked cool like that, but I was just wondering, like, was that something that was restored?
I guess you're right.
Like now, or
I think that might have been
presented like that.
I mean, I don't know too much about filming back in the day, but it could have also been the camera and or the film. I mean, like just guessing.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I couldn't say for sure, but that probably seems like what it probably was. Because now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. It did have like a color to it in certain areas.
It was completely black and white, you know, black and white.
Right. Yeah, like I really like that scene where it shows the witches flying on the brooms. And it's just like
that's pretty cool.
And they're in the sky. Like that was like a really cool shot. There was a bunch of really cool shots like that. Like it was like, oh, that's cool that they had those like tricks back then that they were able to, you know, like they were able to use shit like that. Like it was like interesting. And
like seeing her spirit like raised from her body, like with the devil and all that, like stuff like that. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know they were able to pull that off. Like
yeah. Even like the stuff when like that old lady like and the devil's like throwing coins on her. And I know it's pretty simple, basic like animation
thing. And then it goes back. Yeah, and it goes backwards.
But like even just like making it like for that time and like that sort of like movie and the way that it looks really cool. Like, you know, like it looks just it makes it look even more odd and strange. Like it's not all like CGI where it would just like disappear something. Like it makes it look even more like worse, like sadder, because you're just slowly watching it like go away from you, you know? And there's like, you know what I mean? I don't know, just like stuff like that really like adds to like shit like that. And I you know, obviously that was just them using what they had at the time.
Did we mention when this movie was filmed or when it came out?
1920.
No. It was completed in 1920, but released in 1922.
Okay.
Right. And then it didn't release in the U.S. until the 1929. So we didn't, like, the U.S. audience didn't get it till 1929.
Nice. Yeah. And Criterion is pretty much, I feel like the ones who, like, got it, like, seen, I think. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if it's anywhere else that, like, you could see it, you could just buy it or something. But that, you know, just trying to get on Criterion's good side, so they put me in the closet, baby. Yeah. And after they put me in the closet, I'm gonna have a drink of White Claw and Topo Chico. So get at me too, baby.
Yeah, baby.
You mentioned that it was released today in the U.S.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, he brought that
up. Today.
So today is what? What's the date today?
May 27th, 1929. It was released.
Yeah. So today is May 27th, 2020. Which means it's the day of the Haxan. We plan to eat a few babies, a few frogs, and kiss a few butts, maybe.
And butts.
Lick a few horns.
Depends on who Uber's over. All right, guys. Haxan. So I think we
voted out of the collection. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, I was just gonna say. I think I'm sort of gonna say that. I understand why it's in the collection. I understand its importance in preserving a film like that, because I'm sure for the time that it came out, it was completely different.
Right.
It, like, nobody was making movies about the fucking devil and witches. You know what I mean? Like, especially like that, where you're the director and you're literally yelling, you know, action or cut, and you're just violently sticking your tongue out at all the actresses in makeup or without. Like apparently, I'm reading on IMDb that he was doing that to everybody everywhere he went. So just kidding. I'm just joking. I don't want to spread that rumor to anyone who's not listening. But I get its importance. It makes complete sense. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily like go out of my way to watch it again. There are a few cool scenes from it that I think I would like to show people, I guess, you know, to be like, oh, you should check this out because of these particular scenes. But I wouldn't tell someone to watch the whole thing the whole way through. You know what I mean? just because, like I said, it is sort of like an educational video more than it is like a movie. And I mean, I guess that's what a documentary is. So yes, it is a movie. It's a documentary, but it felt like something you would sit down like in like school and watch or something, you know, like
maybe a history class or something like that.
Yeah,
it had that kind of feel.
An educational historical film, like it's teaching you like a chapter in a book or something, like your history book or something.
Yeah. Or that was like a story that, you know, you would learn in school or something, or that's how in the, you know, and then when the classes you take when you're in church, like that's how they get you to, I don't know, keep your nose out of someone's ass.
Hail Satan. You know? All the classes made you want to be with Satan. They wanted to teach you not to be with him.
Right. I was imagining those parties that they mentioned in the Haxan. It's like, why would you think these people are witches? If they were witches, they would already have your asses like something that they would do something to you.
Yeah, they would put
like you just have them in a cage. Like it's not like they could have. Yeah, they would just put a spell on you or something.
I just love the fact that the old lady, as soon as she got accused, she threw everyone under the bus. She's like,
well, it wasn't as soon. It wasn't as soon. I mean, she got tortured for a pretty good while before she.
Yeah, that's right. But well, I don't know, man. She's old as shit. Like you just pinch your nipple. Like I mean, no. The point is, she threw on everyone.
That's crazy.
Under the bus. That was great. Like everyone was fucking involved. Everyone. Like, you know.
I kind of want to go into that too, like going off of that what you just said. From what it said to that, no, from her throwing everyone under the bus. But sure, nipples. But it said that 80 million people were burned as witches or being accused of, you know, being witches throughout like throughout the whole witch situation. Like, you know what I mean? Europe, here, everywhere.
Salem.
When I went to Salem, I took like the witch tour. I went through the museum and all that, and it teaches you a lot about that stuff. Some of these people were in jail for like a long time before they finally decided. Like I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention in school regarding the Salem witch trials, but it was like 15 years or something, or years upon years that they did before they started saying like, oh, we fucked up, you know? When they started realizing like, oh shit, this isn't, you know, witches, this is mental illness, or fucking, from what they say in the movie, nervous disorders,
or just a good time, just people trying to get their nose in something. You know what I mean? I don't understand why you got to be a witch just because you want to get your nose in something. You know what I mean?
And then partially too, it was the fact that like if someone pointed their finger at you, you're gonna kind of point it right back at them, you know?
Sure.
Something like,
yeah,
because that's how humans are. So
I would do the same thing, because that's like more believable if you're just like, oh, well, you know what? I did go to this witch party and guess who I saw there? Instead of being like, oh, she's a witch. There's a witch. She's a witch. I would be like, oh, you know what? I am a witch, and I gotta let you know. I mean, there was a witch party I was at, and you know, we were just, you know, we were eating babies, eating frogs, and I saw this bitch, that bitch, this other one. You know what I mean?
Some of the people that first started, like in Salem, some of the people that first started pointing their fingers ended up coming back like full circle, and they got caught up in it. And then their, you know, like their husbands would be like, oh yeah, she must be a witch or whatever, and then would just basically throw them under the bus.
What's that?
You know what I mean?
That's like still going on today. Like, you know, if you get like caught by the police for something, you know, they don't even care if you're lying about that if you did it, you know? Like they just want a confession out of you, and then they'll put you in jail, you know? So like,
yeah, you're what is it? It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but you're guilty immediately.
You just want like a confession, like even if you just like, you know, break down, you know, finally what people were doing back then too, like, oh yeah, they're a witch, you know.
Especially if you're if you're a person of color, like if you're different, they're automatically gonna assume that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they they don't care.
Salem Witch Trials 2020.
Yeah. They don't care if it's still like if you're not the right person, as long as this person confessed that we solved the crime.
Right.
That's still still happening, you know, and that's pretty sad. Like we haven't learned from anything. It's kind of hidden under the rug, pushed on the rug a little bit, but I mean, yeah.
And it's because people are stupid. They're uneducated, and that's the problem. Is people don't take the time to critically think. They don't take the time to really say like, hey, maybe what I'm saying or what I'm doing is insane, and me accusing someone of being a witch is actually more insane than someone being a witch. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
dude, like the fact that
I'm a witch.
people that are saying that are patriotic don't really know their history, and they're doomed to repeat it again. You know what I mean? They don't learn from past mistakes that their ancestors did. They're just passing that to like what the
next
witch trials are. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not it might not be the witch trials, but it's the same goddamn thing. You know what I mean?
Yo, yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. Like it's like it is that. I mean, basically back then, what they were doing that for was to just basically like not make women do what they wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Like basically, you got to do this and do that. Like women should be this way, and if you aren't, then you're a witch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if they had to, because like how they would say, oh, you know, you must be a witch if you're like if you're a man trying to stop a woman from going on trial for being a witch. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's like then you have to just either die because to protect your wife, or just be like, oh no, you're right, she's a witch. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they would just kill the babies of those people because they just assumed they were witches, like spawns of witches.
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
like power struggle, like for everything.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. And that is kind of like, there is a lot of shit happening like that in terms of like, you know, like, I mean, that's it. Yeah, it correlates to so much shit. Like it literally kind of correlates to like abortion laws too, you know?
Yeah.
Like how they're just people keeping women from like, you know, doing what they want with their body.
Yeah.
It's like it's like calling them a witch, you know? It's like, oh, if you do this, if you get an abortion, you're a witch. You know what I mean?
Like Karen calling the cops on a bird watcher.
Oh yeah.
Same shit. That's basically it, dude. That's exactly what it fucking is. Like,
right? Yeah. It's like, just like falsely. Yeah. You're right. It is. It's pretty funny. Who thought that? I didn't think that movie Haxan would make us talk about this stuff. All right, yeah. So that is, that is pretty funny. That because that movie was just really slow, and I was never really thinking of these sort of topics while watching it until I guess the end, when I thought, I was like, damn, people are just really still that fucking dumb. Like they're just that dumb.
Yeah, just when they're talking about throwing people in like asylums, and then the rich people went to like clinics.
Let's talk about some of the real social issues, and that's the fact that I was trying to figure out what kind of potions they were using. What were the mixtures were, what they put in, and
I found one. I got one.
I know they did one that had, I believe, what was it? Was it like, I know it was like a dove's heart and like, cat shit and a dove's heart.
Yeah, the love potion.
And that makes you hard. That gets you all horny. It gets you horned up is what at least they got that fat guy all horned up.
Yeah.
A big priest. And then another thing too is that they mentioned that the witches, they go by, like they base their day upon the first crow of the cock, I think is what it said, right? I think that's what it said. They get up based on that. So they're up early is what they're trying to say. So even though they're up late at night, brewing and spewing and hocussing and pocussing, as soon as the cock crows, they're up, they're ready to go. So that's why they're to be feared, and that's why they're crazy. And honestly, I love witches. I think they should just be able to do their thing. I mean, so what, they put a spell on that fool who was dying in the bed. Like maybe he deserved that, right? Like what did that old lady ever do to anybody? I'm all for witches. In case
she just didn't have any table manners. That's all.
Right. In case any of those witches from that one Shudder documentary are listening. Those man witches.
The black witch, man. He's a black magician or black witch.
I respect you, and I think you should be able to do your thing. Especially the warlocks. I think they should do their thing. I think they're great. They should pay more taxes, though. But whatever, that's a whole other thing. So again, I get why. I get the significance of it and what it's in the Criterion Collection for. I could see people taking a lot of influence from that. I could definitely see that something being like Robert Eggers, the Lighthouse guy, would be into, you know, or something he would even like. I could see him like remaking that in like a really cool way. Like, you know, he's honestly the only person I could see ever remaking something like that and doing actually good.
The other guy could probably do it. The guy who did Suspiria, the remake.
Oh, maybe it would be a little different, but I just think the Robert Eggers,
Eggers
how it said Eggers would actually be able to like capture that same vibe and make it look exactly. You know what I mean?
the other Suspiria was pretty good, so I thought he could do it too, especially with all the colors he did with Suspiria as well. You know, like he could change this up a little bit to not make it so like.
Yeah, no, for sure. I could see that. I could see him doing.
I see Eggers like definitely pulling from this for sure. You know, just by lighting the witch. You know?
Yeah, like I said, I could see it being like an influence for like a lot of different things. Like I could even see like bands getting influenced by this movie. Like you know.
Yeah,
like,
the visuals are very like aesthetically like in your face. That's the one thing that I think stood out a lot is like the visual component of it, the way they make the devil look, the way they make their like parties, like it's very appealing. You want to be there.
All right, final thoughts on Haxan, which look, it makes sense because it's a witch movie, and the movie that Diego picked is a witch movie, so it would follow that same kind of vibe. They're two completely different movies. Well, maybe both of them are sort of. Maybe I could say that Diego's probably more of a silent movie than this one is, honestly. But we'll get into that. Haxan, I enjoyed it for what it was. I would probably never watch it again, except for, like I said, to maybe look at visuals if I was on like drugs, on acid or something. Maybe skip to some cool parts. I would never. I don't think I'd recommend it to anybody unless you're like some person who's like I'm like a film cinephile film guy who just is trying to check off all those like must-see important films off the list. I would say watch this because I if it's on Criterion Collection, I feel like it'd be considered one. But I give it, all in all, my experience with it, I'm gonna give it probably just I'm gonna give it two sniffs of the devil's ass. Two big sniffs, but two at the most. Yeah.
Times two?
Just two regular old sniffies. Yeah. But so that's my rating on that. Diego, how you feeling on this?
I liked it. I actually liked it. I know it was a tough film to kind of get through. There's parts where it kind of drags a little bit, but it was a tough watch at times. All in all, though, the visuals kind of like are what kind of got me hooked. And yeah, the ending was kind of a little bit dull. I feel like I don't know if you could have made a better ending. In my opinion, I don't know what I would have done, but I would give it. I'm gonna give it 2.5 witch spells. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I wouldn't recommend it to very many people either. Like you said, probably just people that actually want to watch films for the sake of like them enjoying, what it is to watch films, especially older films. Not a lot of people like silent films. They need their action. But yeah, 2.5.
Yeah. All right. Let's. All right, Nacho. Thank you for raising your hand. Please go.
I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would. I told you guys I was kind of dreading watching this, knowing that it was a silent film, and that it was an hour and 40 minutes. But
sure, that with such like disdain.
And I told Mondo earlier that I kind of dozed off twice through the movie, but I mean, something that Jordan didn't like that I actually liked was actually all those drawings, those images at the beginning of the movie. I thought those were very cool. I thought
the drawings were cool. The way it was put together was kind of boring. But you're right.
Yeah, it was kind of boring, but it was. I mean, I guess I was like seeing that, whatever. That was cool. The imagery was really cool. Seeing, these reenactments of witch trials and stuff. People being accused, just it was kind of wacky. But it was really cool. Like I was impressed, like with what was done at that time. Like again, like seeing the ghosts lift and the coins and things like that. So I don't know if I tell everyone to see. I mean, I would tell everyone to give it a shot once, like watch it once. That's pretty much it. You just got to see it once and that's it. It's something maybe I'd add to my collection just to have it. I've seen it kind of cool.
For sure.
I like what it talked about, witchery, Satanism, all that. So that was cool. So with that being said, I do maybe 3.5 ass kisses.
3.5.
3.5.
Okay, cool, nice. All right, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Listening to you two guys, I'm moving mine up a half. I'm doing 2.5. I'm going with Diego.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
Starting to kind of think about like you said, the imagery and the cinematography of it, and sort of what it is for the time that it came out. And I do really enjoy that subject matter. That was one of the reasons I wanted to see this for a while. So yeah. Well, what do you think, Mondo? What are your thoughts?
This is my first time seeing the film too. I remember. I guess Criterion had already released it, right? And they just came out with the Blu-ray recently.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the trailer for that, and
it's like one of their first things that they put out.
Yeah, and that's what made me want to see the film. I had never heard of it before until they were saying they announced the Blu-ray release of this, and the trailer for it was really cool as well. So, and like all the visuals, and the thing why I think it's on the Criterion, why it's a Criterion film, is just I think mostly because of the filmmaking of how good that is for the time,
right, definitely,
like coming out in 1929, like, and the visuals and like the editing, how I mentioned earlier, like I think it's just great on that part. Yeah, it is a little boring in some parts. Like I'm not saying that it wasn't a slog to get through, but I mean after that first part, it kind of picks up and then it kind of dwindles down and everything. But like all the visuals and the makeup and editing, and I don't know if the music was already music before or they just added it to it.
It says that they had like like an orchestra play.
We didn't talk about
the
music.
Yeah, the music was really good too. That's another, like it accompanied it really well.
Yeah,
because it didn't try to be like really scary or weird. It just was very like upbeat in a lot of instances, and I thought that was like even scarier.
Yeah, you
got some Mozart in there.
You got some like they would just have like orchestral like things, famous playing in the back or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it on the channel because I probably wouldn't have been mad if I bought it, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, it is good. Like I wouldn't have been that upset if I bought it, but yeah, I would go back to it for certain parts. I wouldn't watch the whole thing like straight through again. Maybe another time if I felt like it. But I don't know. I thought it was really good, and I really think it's. I know why it's on the Criterion Collection because the filmmaking, obviously, and I'm kind of curious to see if this guy's made anything else that is kind of cool or interesting.
I saw something else about the devil that he had made. I didn't look at it though. That it said he directed.
IMDb real quick, but it didn't. I didn't recognize anything off the bat. But
yeah, I don't really go back that far in films yet, so I don't really.
Yeah. Is he a witch?
He might be.
Might be. Yeah.
Him and his wife, because his wife is in it too. At least the actress has the same name, last name as him.
Yeah.
Who's in it? So they could be. They could just be a band of witches just making flicks, just being like, "Hey, look at these Jesus freaks are doing to us."
Isn't this shit fun?
What's the rating, Mondo? What are you giving it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard
because it matters so much.
Yeah. It does. It really does.
Criterion is collecting this data.
For sure, I give it a three old witch pokers in the back.
Okay. Oh yeah, that part too, right? How they showed that if you don't feel the pain when they poke you, you must be a witch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All that shit was great. We could just talk about that shit forever, honestly.
Yeah.
Like just how a lot of that stuff correlates with today. But as you can see, we scored a Criterion, so go back in time and tell it to fuck off because we gave a low score. Not really. I mean, all the scores were cool. There was I think that's a pretty even score. If I was back in the 20s, if I was the person that I am today, I'd probably be killed. But I would really enjoy that movie. They'd probably drag me behind a car or something. After a sock hop or whatever they did back in the 20s.
Ultimately, good watch. Glad we got it out of the way. One of those classics.
Yes, it was one that I had on my list. That's what I was saying. It was one of those things that like it was just on my list because like I thought the visuals were cool, but I was like, oh, it's like one of those movies that I feel like you have to watch because people mention it and like, oh, it's like a classic.
This poster that they put out that's in my background is fucking cool as fuck.
Yes.
That's from the collection. That's the poster they put out.
That scene is really dope when they show him holding the baby and like everyone. It's a really dope visual. That whole little bad guy, the devil looking with the beard like that. But enough about that devil. Let's get over to a new devil, a devil of a movie, a Satan of a time, a Lucifer of a watch.
Wait, was this a silent film too? Because I felt like this first movie had more dialogue than the second.
Right. All right, Diego, explain why you think
all right, so
Yakuza Jacuzzi should be in the Criterion collection.
All right, so
explain it too, but explain.
Yeah, so I brought forth Hagazussa. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, and if anyone is watching this, if they want to tell us how to say it, then cool. If not, I'm just gonna keep saying it this way. So it's came out 2017. Director Lucas Fagelfeld. He not only directed it but wrote it as well and co-produced it for his, I believe it was his film school project for graduation. It is a story.
Sounds about right.
Like, going off the vibe that we just left, which is witchcraft. We're going back into witchcraft, but in a more folklore, gothic tale, medieval time type tale, which is what it's described as. You follow a character and you kind of follow her kind of like transforming into, I guess, what you would want to consider a witch, although it's never really put forth that way. You kind of just gotta have to assume that she's a little girl in the beginning, loses her mom, has to struggle through basically like, living during this time. I think it was like, from what I understand, it was like 14 something, medieval times rather. So she's kind of ostracized.
Was whack as fuck.
Yeah, she was ostracized. The townspeople would like kind of poke at her. She had to sell like goat's milk to kind of get by. She has a kid. All this stuff happens. She kind of gets fucked over and then loses her mind, and then basically, spoiler alert, she ends up turning into fucking flames at the end. I brought it forth because I thought it was a good film. The first time I watched it, I thought it was visually appealing. Like, it is a very beautiful shot film. It's shot in the Alps, and I believe it's German or Austrian rather. And I feel like I am a big fan of the movie The Witch, which you mentioned, Robert Eggers, earlier.
You should have picked that one. You should have picked that one.
Which I think, in my defense, it is not similar, but it has that vibe that the director kind of took his time in learning like the folklore, and I think each country is going to have their own tale regarding witchcraft and stuff like that. So he took this from like, like from what he knew from his, I guess, his mother, his homeland.
Know anything.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but they should have called this Regarding Witch. That's what it should have been called. It would have been like a cool like sitcom, like a 90s sitcom, Regarding Witch. You're just like, hey, it's me.
I'll give this movie that. You know what? It was
Regarding Witch.
The landscape, like where it was shot, was really beautiful. How green, everything.
Wait, hold on. Before, okay, so explain why you believe it should be in the Criterion collection. Remember, not why you think it's a good movie.
Okay.
Why you think
I think the reason I brought it forth and the reason I think it should be is, I mean, like, just going off of that, I think it's a beautiful film. It is, from the research I did too, not just because it's my opinion, but I also saw that it got good reviews overall. You kind of see like a different version of the witch, of like this character, the witch, that everyone kind of has like an idea of it, and this kind of shows you a different version of that. to me, I just liked it. Like I said, the visuals, the way it was put forth, and also the time and effort that this guy kind of went into it, because he did use a sort of dialect that isn't modern for Dutch or Austrian or whatever language they're speaking in. And I thought that also that take time from him, but that's why I think it should be in it.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you this.
Go for it, Nacho. Yeah.
No. Just what I was saying earlier, prior to that. I mean, I have too many questions with this movie. I feel like I don't know what the fuck is going on half the time. Besides her like masturbating and being touched by her mom. That's what happened, right? Like she was
right. That's part of
her
having that mental issue, is that she gets molested by her mom.
And then did she get raped?
Yes,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you see the throw marks on
that's
her
why,
after, right?
Yeah, that's why I said she got fucked over.
And then she takes it out on a rat by pissing on it, right?
No,
she poisons the well, that water source. That's why later on you see all those bodies getting put.
That'd be sick if Poison the Well was in the soundtrack for this.
Okay, so yes, I do remember seeing the bodies, but wasn't she squatting on the rat?
She pisses on that water source.
As you saw in Haxan,
oh shit, that's crazy.
That was the only water source that little town had. So you saw how they made up with that guy and he's getting water. That's why she throws a rat, is basically to curse that water, and that's why you see all those bodies later on, because they die from that.
And those guys in black cloaks, were they like Paul Bearers or some shit? They were in the beginning of the movie too.
They were priests and doctors. That's what ultimately that's what they. Yeah.
They were David Schwimmers, Paul Bearers.
And then later on, the skull they give. The skull they
was
give
that her mom?
Her mom. That's her mom.
Mom, right? I figured that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a hard time watching the baby scene, man. Maybe just because I have a baby that age, but fuck, dude, I was like, this bitch, like, oh my god, like that was. Oh, and what? Okay, so what I've noticed in the movie was they labeled like chapters, right? Shadows, porn, blood, fire.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that blood part?
When she goes in the water and all that blood, no?
When she's in the water, what was that exactly? Like,
oh, I don't know.
I believe it was the menstrual flow. I believe that's how they got rid of the menstrual blood back in the day. No, isn't that a remedy?
Like a cleansing in the water?
I think that was just a director trying to be cool, is what that was. Let me just say right off the bat, Homeboy thought he had a cool visual and kept it there for a bit too long. I thought my screensaver had come up and on my TV, and I was like, no, I'm watching a movie still. What are you turned off for? And my TV was like, no, this is it should be a screensaver. So yeah. So let me tell you something. I'm not sure why you didn't just pick The Witch, because The Witch does this in such like a 10 times, like in a much better way, in a more engaging way. The tone gets set in The Witch in a much better way. It actually has like a better tone. I feel like this movie, it just sort of it moved at like a slow pace, which The Witch does, but The Witch does it with like purpose. Every sort of like scene in The Witch really like resonates with you and like goes with you, and nothing sticks there for too long. Here, everything is sort of just for too long's sake. It sticks with a lot of things for a long time when it doesn't really like make an impact, at least not for me. Obviously, this is my opinion on it, and it was boring in a way that like it didn't, like I wasn't engaged in the story. I got what was going on completely and stuff. I was never really just interested because she was just banging herself with goat's milk and like just sort of doing things where I just felt like the director was just like, he's all, oh yeah, he's all, you know what? He's all, start sucking on the goat's nipple. And she's like, you know what? You're not even paying me for this. And he's like, all right, fine. He's all, squeeze some on your hand and just put up against your nose. Like, you know? Like, it just felt like it felt like what you said it is. It felt like a film school, like a film school movie. That's what a film school student would do. They would take their time to really like focus on stuff like herself, like her banging herself, and like, you know, like that sounds really like vile, banging, like her like, you know, masturbating, and her like doing that thing with the like it just was very like amateurish to me. Like, it didn't feel like it didn't feel scary or awkward or weird, like how, you know, in The Witch there's certain scenes that, like, you know, you're just like, oh shit, this is kind of uncomfortable, or this is just strange, or it's just like done very well. And obviously there is a bunch of great looking shots. I'm not going to say that it doesn't look good, because it obviously does. I mean, all of that skull thing where the priest was there, that shit is dope. That shot where it's just like showing the sky for a little bit, and there's like the goat like head just keeps kind of like appearing every now and then. It's just like a blue sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. There was like a bunch of cool shots, don't get me wrong, but in between that, it felt like he didn't really know. He had that location, he had these people, and he was just kind of like, all right, let's do some witch shit. And she's like, what is witch shit? And he's like, well, just bang yourself in the bed, no? And she's just like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'll get a close up. And like, it just felt like very film schooly to me, and very, I don't know. It just, not that it's like a terrible movie. It is to me, but not like, it's not like some movie that I would say like, oh fuck, like this is like, you know, I don't think it's a good movie, but it's not a movie I think should be in the Criterion Collection. I don't see any like any value in restoring this film and keeping it just sort of could just be, you know, a movie you kind of scroll past. It doesn't really, for me, it didn't really like hit me in any kind of way that I see where I'm like, oh shit, like if I watched that on Criterion, I would literally be like, damn, I'd be emailing Criterion and be like, what? I was like, what are you fools doing? Are you guys like, who's running this thing now? Trump? What's going on here? Just kidding.
I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
Well, you know, that's all a matter of opinion, but you're right. It's not like Trump bad, but it certainly you know, it just, to me, it just, you know, I want to make sure I'm not just like shitting on it. I want to make sure that I'm giving like valid arguments as to why I don't think it's good. And I really do believe that it doesn't really have an engaging story. Okay. So it's about this woman and her daughter, and they're like, you are witches, right? They get accused of being witches pretty much by people. The mom dies, and the daughter, you know, I mean, I get she goes through some shit when her mom is a witch and, you know, molests her and stuff. And then she grows up, deals with some more shit, but and then she slowly is just like kind of becoming a witch. So it's sort of like this like coming of age kind of thing, but it doesn't give any like any sort of like, I don't know. It just seems like it just throws in that scene, the sort of like, you know, that kind of rape scene, just for the sake of it. That there's I don't feel any significance for it. Like, I don't feel any reason that would bring the character to like do anything than just like, I don't know, have a shot of her eyes with a hand fucking right there, you know, while it's like zooming. You know, it's just, I don't know. That's, you know, I've been talking for a while. Does anyone else?
Diego, real quick. Towards the beginning, I was wondering if you knew if there was any significance amongst two things that were said by the old fucking homeless guy. Oh, I guess he's not homeless. That's just how they look.
The guy they run into?
Yes, the 12th night and the perch that get you. Like, he's it's the 12th night. I was wondering if maybe to be honest, I ran out of time to look into that myself.
Yeah, no, I didn't see. Maybe you did. I didn't see anything. That came up with that. I know the stuff that I did get into was that overall it was like basically that they were cursed, and they were kind of shunned upon like by the town, which is why like they pick on her and all this shit happens, like from when she first goes into town and the kids are like throwing rocks at her and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then like the whole time was when she meets that lady that kind of takes an interest on her. She's basically trying to set her up, basically. Like, that's the whole point of their friendship and shit like that, because they think of her as less. That's why she doesn't live in that town where she walks into. She lives by herself, And that's another reason why she kind of goes crazy, is because she's lonely. She doesn't really have anyone to like kind of like interact with, which is why she's probably like the whole bestiality is kind of there too, because she doesn't have anything but her goats. Yeah. I think, well, it is mentioned when that lady says like, you know, like Jewish people just pass through here, and then next thing you know, 9 months later, you're pregnant and you have a kid or whatever. Like she kind of mentions that kind of stuff. And she kind of like looks down on. So I don't know if that's kind of like what happened, like just someone came by and like had a fling with her and then she got pregnant or what. It's not very like it's not,
and just moved on.
Yeah.
Oh right, they never explained where she got that baby from, huh?
No, no.
She just
but
says
like
that
I said,
he's not like
Yeah, so she kind of like that other lady, the other character, she mentions that, but she never really like clarifies that. But once she loses,
the father was that goat with the guts out.
So she's a bad witch, a bad mother, a bad neighbor, a bad daughter. I mean, come on.
Bad milker. Like, why would she milk a goat and then run it through his fucking fingers? Like, she's not running it through.
Milker. That's a top one.
Man,
a bad
it's
milker.
Medieval times, dude. Like, there was a lot more worse shit going on. Like the plague that her mom had.
I'm sorry, Mondo hasn't given his 2 cents yet.
Yeah, the whole thing about this movie was the story for me too. I mean, I already went through it all. Thanks for leaving. Into my house by the river. It was pretty much just the story. The story was like not there for me. I mean, the visual, it was visually appealing. Like it looked good. Some of the shots were cool, but like the story was just way too sparse and dragged out for no reason. Kind of, I felt like if there was like a little more to it, I would have maybe liked it or suggested or I don't know. But I don't have any reason to let it into the Criterion collection.
You hear that, Criterion?
They'll be getting an email pretty soon. Blocking your ass, Diego. Honestly, with shit like this, they might even let you in the closet once we get in. So, you have to see about that.
That's fine.
They're going to be like, aren't you the fucking Jada Jacuzzi guy? And you're going to be like, yep. And then they'll be like, you're done. Go to the fucking Arrow fucking closet. Arrow put it out, that's what makes sense, you know? It's just like, it's like one of those horror movies where like a guy tried really harder than usual and, you know, it's just, but he didn't need to. He should have just made it like a schlocky B, like, you know, like he didn't have to try to make it all artsy. He should have just made it schlocky and just jump scares and shit, and it would have been fine. It probably would have been a lot better. But this, he just film schooled it. He film schooled it. That's a term that I'm coining. He film schooled it. And that's when you show up and you think you know what you're doing and you fuck it up.
This Luca Sensfield, has he made any other films?
I just looked into this movie. I didn't really see if he made anything else. And this movie is pretty recent. So if anything else would have came out, I think I would have seen something, but nothing else popped out for him.
Wait, Nacho, did you let it in or did you not let it in?
No.
You're not gonna let it in?
Nacho wants to.
Oh, the Criterion Council speaks.
I don't know, man. I wanted to like this movie. Again, like visually speaking, it was fucking awesome. I just wish
we all want to like every fucking movie.
Maybe I'm Mr. Nice Guy, but maybe visually speaking, it was fucking really cool. Again, it's a subject matter that I like, you know, folklore, the time it took place, all that. I don't think that the acting was bad or anything like that. Everything was cool. I think just the story wasn't great. I think that it was just.
Look, I think for what we're doing, because I'm judging it based on Criterion standards. You know. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's why I'm like being harsh on it, because I'm trying to show you why it wouldn't belong in the collection. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's like this terrible movie or anything. It's just, you know, I just couldn't see it as being an important movie. Like, I would probably, even if I watched the trailer for this movie, I wouldn't watch it. Like, I would just look at the trailer and be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch that. You know, that's what I'm saying for me.
Yeah.
And it's not like, but it's either way, it's not in the collection. I already called Criterion. I send them a fucking email. They have a permanent block on anything that sounds like jacuzzi, basically. Any movie that has that in the title. Diego, you're gonna have to shape up with these, all right? And you're gonna have to come at me with something a little bit juicier, something to chew on.
All right, who's next?
Well, you chewed on it, all right.
Mondo's next, right?
Mondo's next.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I already said.
Well, yeah. Well, we don't gotta say what it is gonna be, but let's just say thanks to anybody who is listening, and hopefully you check out these movies so you can kind of get what it is we're talking about. And I don't know if you should see Jacuzzi, but at the same time, I would say
I think you should. I think people should watch it and tell us what they think. That's what I think.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. Of course.
Both of them. Both these movies. Both of them.
I always say,
is Jordan ethical or is he not?
Of course, but hey, if you don't got the time, and there's something better on, even if it's got commercials, maybe you might want to watch something else. But anyway,
shitty movies need a chance too, man. Just at least one watch, right?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
What? Okay, no.
What kind of movies?
Our sponsors, Topo Chico and LaCroix and White Claw.
Bubbly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And Waterloo. Waterloo, our newest sponsor.
Waterloo.
I was gonna say I watched this on Amazon in case anybody cares.
Okay. Right. Yes. You're right. If you want to see Jacuzzi Part 10, check it out on Amazon, and then Haxan. If you've got Criterion, the Criterion channel, which you should get that, you'll be able to see that. I mean, yeah, you can go from D-Pan to Haxan. I mean, come on. Like, where else can you watch crazy shit?
Who else is talking about these films, for Christ's sakes?
Right? Yeah. Well, I understand why people aren't talking about Jacuzzi, but who else?
Oh, shut up!
But I understand why people aren't. Yes.
Nowhere else. The Criterion Cult.
I'm all fucking nervous about my pick now. Shit.
I mean, you guys gotta. I'm saying you gotta bring it. I mean, I don't work for Criterion, but eventually I will after this podcast comes out, and I'm going by their standards. They're gonna want me there at the door blocking these movies. I'm going to be physically at their building just punching Jacuzzis that walk up, just not letting them in. Especially fucking German dudes coming at me with Jacuzzis. No, thank you. In this climate, all right. Thank you guys, everyone, for listening, who is listening. Thank you guys for the nice, lovely Criterion Cult conversation. All hail Satan, and witches are good.